I don't know. We're,
So Clayton's out, and Adam's running late.
Oh, it's a good thing I hustled my booty from Melfa.
so the town council work session, August 19th, 2026. Can I get a roll call?
Oh, Holloway present.
Grossman
Barely.
present.
Buckles present. We have a quorum. So items for discussion. An update from Virginia American Water.
Very good.
Yep, it's all you.
Alrighty. So we're here to talk about Mason. First thing I wanted to do was introduce George. George is our new supervisor for wastewater and collections there. So he's been there for about 6 months, 5 months? 5 months now. He was there for everything at Mason. It's a good experience for him to get
Baptism.
Just say
trial by fire kind of thing.
welcome.
Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about some of the past issues, what happened the 3rd and the 4th, and what we have in place to try to mitigate some of that. As everybody knows, Mason is the main lift station for the town. Everything comes from Washington, Pine, and Plum, from Old Town, excuse me. Everything from Washington, Pine, and Plum comes down into Mason. Everything on Mason Avenue is fed in through a gravity feed through there. We actually don't even have a good estimate on how much flow comes through there. That's something I'm working on right now, and that's not in here. I have a contractor coming tomorrow to take some measurements, but we're going to try to put a flow meter in there so we can get a better feel for what's actually coming out of Mason. As you know, when we purchased the system, the day that we purchased the system, the lift station failed. We went on to a bypass system and have been on a bypass system since then. There's been a long history of failures, sewer overflows. During the CPS study, they went in, did evaluation of the lift station itself, the electrical, the mechanical, the pumping, everything about the station. So they've got
CPS, I'm sorry.
the CPS study that we presented a couple weeks back.
Remind me what's it stand for?
It's capital planning study. And
Just so
they had
that I was
actually,
listening.
if you looked in the capital planning study, I think it said the finish date was 2028 for Mason, but we've moved that up. So the finish date, I believe now is March of 27. So right now we're in phase 1, we're wrapping phase 1. It should be done into this month, early September. Once that's done, we'll move in 2 new bypass pumps connected to the permanent bypass system. So there'll be a primary and a secondary pump there. Right now, the way it's set up, it's a primary pumping system with a secondary that can be hooked up. Once that's in place, there'll be a secondary already connected. So if the primary fails, the secondary picks up. We don't actually have to go down there and fiddle
So
with
when
it
you say a bypass, that's gonna be in there
permanently,
permanent?
forever. So if-
Whatever you have there permanently is.
Yep, it's going there forever.
Whatever.
So if we ever have another issue with the wet well and we've got to shut the wet well down, we can isolate it completely and run directly off the bypass system. What we actually found when we got here was there was no way to isolate the wet well at Mason. So one of the first things that I had done was there was a 16-inch valve installed between the communator and the wet well itself, and then a 8-inch insertion valve installed at the exit or the discharge side of the wet well, which isolated the wet well fully. So now we were able to work on it, but we've got other issues that I'll talk about. In here, some of the things we put were replacing the pumps will not fix the situation. That's not like the fix for this. We've got failed pump seat, failed muffin monster. The wet well needs to be relined, so we've got water intrusion on the wet well. Concrete failure inside the wet well, and multiple electrical failures through the whole station. So it's pretty much a whole new station is what's needed. So that's where we're kind of the direction we're going. It might not be a brand new building, but it's going to be all new internals completely, and then the wet well will get redone, and obviously the fence looks like.
Was there a fair amount of infiltration there?
The whole town, as far as infiltration goes, yeah. But the wet well, when I say there is infiltration, I had it pumped down and cleaned, and within 3 days there was probably 10 feet of water in it. So I mean, you dig there 2 feet down in the ground, you have water. I mean, it's an incredible amount of water. I've never seen that in my life. I mean, I've also worked inland for my whole life, so.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think any of our council members have been down in the wet well.
Okay.
So would you describe for them the fact that there are pumps down there?
Yeah.
Would you kind of,
So there's submersible lift pumps at the bottom of the wet well. There's 3. The way it was set up before is there's 2 4s and a 6. You back up is your 6. The 2 4s alternate, and then when you have like a lot of flow, that 6-inch would pick up and carry all that flow out of there. But the pump seat itself is what those pumps sit in on that concrete at the bottom, and those seats have failed. They've all come loose from the bottom of the wet well, so anytime there's a pump sitting on it, the torque from the pump starting up actually shifts the pump, and that's what was happening when at the bottom of the well was breaking loose the piping, and that's why it was never really
How big is that
functioning.
well? How big is the well?
That's a good question. I've never got a good measurement on it, and there's no good drawings on it, so I'm not sure.
What's a
mean-
muffin monster?
Muffin Monster's a rag removal pump. It just chews up rags. And the Muffin Monster that's down there in the communator right now has failed, so we're having a hard time with rag removal too. We're seeing a ton of rags at the plant because of that. It does kind of run, but it's never been serviced, so it doesn't do very well, and it smokes, so I just have it off right now. I don't want it to catch on fire.
Sorry, when you say that you're going to completely replace this whole system, when are you talking about doing it?
March 27th is supposed to be the end date for this, finish date.
And
Supposed to be.
when to start?
We haven't set a start date. We've got to get RFP out, but they're working on that right now. So
How long will this take?
it should take years. It should be 28, should be, but we're going to have to fast track everything to get it done, so
By March?
by March.
So what would be years long is going to be
We're going to try to shorten it up
4
in
months?
6 months, March of 27. So you're looking at probably maybe another month or 2 with the engineers putting everything. We have the drawings done. That was the big thing. It was like they were working on the drawings the last year and trying to put everything together. We've got like, I think it states it in here, it's like 95% or 99%. We're sitting right at done. We've got some environmental stuff that we've got to do. Once that's finished up, drawings will be put in my hands. Engineering group will go in to do the RFP, get bidders in. Once that's cleared and we can go, we're going to tell them it's a go, like right off the start. So it's got to be done by March 27, and hopefully weather permitting, that is the case. That's what we ran into last year, was all the weather.
What will the area look like? What can we expect?
It'll be a construction site all of winter, so
And street closures construction or?
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I think we have to do one street closure to do the intakes on the communator, but I think then that'll be like a 24-hour deal.
And what about,
And what part of the street, like the whole?
It'd just
street
be
or
that
just
one
that
section down there,
Right.
yeah, and I think the way we talked about it, we can do one lane. So the way it's set up, but the problem is the manhole that we have to pump out of is on the opposite side of the street. So that kind of makes it a little wonky. We'll have to work with VDOT on that one.
what other types of disruptions could we
Just be loud.
allow?
Yeah.
What about,
There might be some nighttime stuff. We might be working at night occasionally. So, recently we had one over the summer. We were at night, and July 3rd and 4th, so.
okay.
And who's providing the equipment? Is it the contractor through the RFP, or do you provide in there the labor? Or?
So we'll have a list of equipment that we want, and that'll go through the contractor. They'll purchase everything for us, yeah.
So you'll have the existing bypass to a certain degree still in play
Yes.
while they're replacing
Yes.
around it and then juggling.
Yep, and the original plan for the bypass was moving the lines to be able to even get cranes and excavators to the wet well, because the way it's set up now and how you have to do it now is there's tons of piping in the way, and the bypass pumps are completely in the way of even being able to work. So I had drawn it on a notepad and sent it to our engineering department. I was like, how should I do this? This is what I need. And then they gave me plans, and it turned into just moving pumps to creating a permanent bypass to actually set 2 pumps. It's a big thing in Virginia Beach. If you go ride to any of the lift stations in Virginia Beach, every one of them have a diesel bypass pump sitting outside the station. And what that is just a diesel pump for backup. If you have a complete failure of the station, you've got a diesel bypass sitting on a pedestal outside that's going to immediately fire up and pump everything out, so you don't ever have a backup in that case. And that's what the goal is here. So
So have a diesel backup?
it's there's going to be electric and a diesel. So the primary is going to be electric, the secondary is going to be diesel,
Sitting outside of the pump house?
sitting outside
That would only kick on if needed?
if needed, if there was a failure. If the station completely, that's complete failure, because, and I haven't really even gotten through this, but the plan is for the second phase of this is 3 pumps. So we're going from the 2 4s and the 1 6 to 3 6s. There'll be 3 6s. We're going to redo all the piping coming out. It'll be a lead, lag, and then a backup in the well itself. So if all 3 of your pumps fail and you have a complete loss of the station itself, you have a backup sitting there waiting to run. So
What was there before? Was it gas or, didn't we have one there before?
Diesel
LP or
pump.
gas? Generator.
There's an emergency generator for every pump station. Now,
Yeah.
Matt's talking about something different.
yeah, the bypass pumps.
No, but I get that. I mean, those things were just as loud when they kicked on.
Oh yeah, and that old
And
Onan's
they
still
only,
in
they
there.
kicked on. I've
You
been there
got a couple of
1 or 2
voices,
times.
You got an emergency.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's just
only 1 or
more
2 times.
yeah, and that's what I was.
And
just
the
getting
new
there.
diesel. So I don't know if anybody's had any complaints or heard about the one sitting over on Pine Street. We replaced that generator last year, and that was replaced with a silenced diesel, which there was a silenced Cummins there at the time, which catastrophically failed like the first couple weeks we were here, and I replaced it, and that one's like incredibly quiet. You'd be very surprised at how quiet it
And
is.
is that what you're using to replace the
Yeah,
station?
yep,
That's
yep,
great.
yep.
And what about aesthetically from,
We're getting there. I've got some drawings that I turned over. I've been working with local landscaper to try to figure out what we're gonna do. But we're gonna put up some bushes and stuff, and there was actually conversation, I don't know if anybody would, like, this would be something y'all be interested in, putting up like concrete walls. I know that, or brick walls, and then allowing like murals, something like that, just to kind of encapsulate the place. It would cut down on noise, and, I mean, obviously it's a lift station, so nobody wants to look at it. Me and one of the PMs for Virginia were talking about that. We just haven't really dug into it, so I'm more focused on trying to get it straight first.
sure, that's secondary,
Yeah.
obviously, but,
Co-
okay.
Coastal make some.
Yeah, I want it to run. I want it to run good. I don't want to be running down there on July 4th, so, yeah. But yeah, I'll get back into this. Make sure I hit everything here. So I touched on the current setup. All right, so prior to the events at July 4th, this will be the July 3rd event summary. We obviously expected the highest flows of the year. Everybody knows that. Everybody's here for July 4th. We had brought in 3 pumps. We had a mechanical failure of the electrical pump a few weeks before that, and I replaced it. Replaced it with a brand new pump. Had a mechanical seal fail on it. We actually went in and hooked up all new intakes and discharge lines. So there was secondary lines already set up, ready to go. And then the 2 additional pumps, because we've been running on the single electric for a long time. We brought in the 2 additional diesel pumps in case of failure of the electric pump that was brand new. And what happened was, so this is the failure point. Electric bypass pump failed due to an overload switch. It had been running all day, which the overload switch just failed. I mean, it got hot and failed. It just ran all day. So that was there. That wasn't a big deal. Switched to the diesel bypass. Diesel bypass wasn't keeping up. We didn't know why. We couldn't figure it out. We were running around chasing our tail kind of thing for hours, going to the plant, going back to there, trying to figure out how much flow we were getting, what the pump was doing. I called out Xylem, I called out United Rentals, both the companies that were there for the rental pumps that were there. They came and tested all the pumps. They worked on the electric pump, got that straight. tested that one, it had good pressure. Diesel pump had good pressure. They kind of threw their hands up and went, you have another problem somewhere else. And this was probably 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It's blurry. That day was crazy, but I think we ended up in the street around 6 or 7 o'clock, something like that. Because it was a little bit before that when we were like, okay, we have another mechanical failure somewhere else. So then we started chasing that failure. At that time, one of the diesel pumps, the second diesel pump failed. The pump failed on it. We had to go and switch to another pump. We were in the street at that point, and I called it. We were in the street. We had 2 pump trucks there. We were pumping out of the street. We started disassembling check valves and air valves, trying to figure out what the problem was. One of the check valves had failed. So we went in, gutted the check valve, hooked everything back up, and fired the pumps, and they took off. And that was then from there forward until almost 4 o'clock in the morning, getting the street emptied out, thousands of gallons of sewage. Luckily not in the bay, and thankful that y'all had y'all's people there with the loader and everything. There's no way I was gonna go grab our loader and do that. There was just too much going on. So thankful that y'all had them. They blocked the street, so it worked out. The sand berm, so yeah, he had that in here. So recovery efforts, new rental pump was connected. We had external support. We had our Prince William district here. They brought down a vacuum truck, which I think around 4 a.m. blew up. Vacuum pump blew up on it. So then we had to go back to Prince William, pick up another vacuum truck and bring that down. So it was
Prince
another.
William, like as in Northern Virginia, Prince William?
Yeah, yep. So another 6-hour round trip, bring that truck down, and got that truck here. We had, I think, 4 or 5 laborers from from Underground Connections here, and then our electrical and controls guys were here from Process Integrations. They had 2 guys down, help monitor the pumps themselves, make sure we didn't have another issue with that electric pump, because that is hands down the best pump that there is, and it's not loud, and obviously it doesn't cause too many problems, but when you have a bad overload switch, it does. They went and checked all the electrical connections back into the station, checked all the disconnects, make sure everything was good, but obviously the check valve was disassembled and clean. We notified you all, the Department of Environmental Quality, somebody else contacted Northampton County, you did, and then I spoke with them, they had called me. So then VDH, and I believe that was all the entities that we had reached out
So
to.
just to stop on that, so from a communications point of view, do you feel there was adequate communication, notifications through this, and then for our town to notify our residents?
Well,
Could anything be improved?
yeah, so one thing that we found, some areas where we improved was in our Nexel system, to have backup signatures and authorizations so that when one of us was not getting the message, now we have a backup so that we have 3 people that can do the Nexel. And so, yeah, that's been fixed.
And that also brought discussion up with us too. Our system does not reach out to an area. It reaches out to the customers. So if the customer has their phone number or email address in our system, it reaches out to them. But this is a vacation town. So you've got thousands of other people that their numbers aren't on there, so nobody even knows what's going on. And
Now, I'd also add, Nexel is, that app that we use is actually kind of changing, and so it's been upgraded. And so it's a lot easier where we can actually get on it from an app now and not have to go back to our main computers in the office.
Oh, that's good.
So, it's, yeah, well, that's
A little easier.
that's where we've improved. So we got more people to do it, and then now it's a different system that we can actually do it on site.
And then our chain of command, did it work effectively? You were not notified, you notified the mayor? Is that how that went?
Well, I notified the county first.
Count,
And
yes.
then we began to make sure that all the, important people that was on the list were notified, then the mayor was called.
What about visitors? I know that there's not a way that we're collecting that information, but do we maybe want to explore getting property managers or rental managers as part of this communication system so that homeowners are notified and can share that with their renters.
To sign up for Nixle.
At least the Nixon part, then they can reach out to their own
Sure,
people that are renting that week or whatever.
unless they're going through a management company and they don't know who's in their home.
There's challenges on that, because
Yeah.
not everyone is
Say
gonna
that
get
again,
notified.
there's what?
I said, there's gonna be challenges with that, because there's
Sure.
only so many rental companies. I know there's some major ones, but even then, we have 330 short-term rentals, and they're not all gonna be notified, because they're not on all the same systems. But we can do a better job at
But if
notifying.
we're collecting that data through our STR program, is there a way that we could send it out?
That's what I was
To
thinking.
the STR, to those that are listed as business licenses?
So,
I believe we can.
I mean, it would be duplicating some, the
Yeah.
owner piece, but,
Yeah.
but why not?
yeah, or even the 24/7 contact person.
Sure.
Right.
Should be notified too.
Yeah, they should all be on this,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there's a checklist that we automatically sign them up when we put them in, or have them sign up, however that must happen, we need to.
Cannot sign people up for
Okay.
emergencies.
So then, in our system of them registering every year, we need a checkpoint that they initial. I've signed up for emergency whatever, and
Or
then
does
it's-
the STR,
Communication.
does the STR program offer a communication module that would allow you to send a broadcast email or
Emails,
text?
yes.
Email.
Yes, a person would have to create that message and then push the button and it would go out to whoever.
As a mass email. As a
Yeah,
mass
mass
email,
email.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, part of normal emergency management systems, there is a person who should be in charge of communications.
For sure.
And it shouldn't be Rick, because he has too many other important things to do. But there needs to be someone within the town system who is responsible for that, and that person should have that.
just like, Jeb is our designated person, emergency management person, but we need a communications person as well, on top of that.
With backup.
With backup.
You know, we just can't over communicate it when
Yeah.
it's something like this on one of our busiest
Yeah.
times of year.
People still didn't understand, even to the 4th. I mean, I had to go park the backhoe up at the front of the caution tape to keep people out, because people were trying to walk through, and we're in there with a vacuum truck and,
Right.
cruising there trying to do cleanup, and people are just walking into the work zone, so,
For Snicker bars.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous.
They were looking for the silent disco while they were.
Yeah. Oh, the silent disco was
They're
going.
walking into a puddle of sewage and it's like, can you just go around?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was surreal, man.
Yeah.
We're out there doing that, and then you got silent disco going on right in front of us.
And you're like, is this a real?
Yeah, that was really weird. The fireworks were even weirder.
Yeah.
Because I was still down there, sitting there watching them, and I'm like, my Lord. I was like, just keep running, please. Touch on cleanup activities, Kenton Industrial Services, Atlantic Environmental, and then Virginia American Prince William District were all down to do cleanup with us. We ended up having to utilize one vacuum truck for pressure washing and one for the vacuum services, because we did blow up one of the vacuum trucks the night before. So just catastrophic failure of the vacuum system on it. That was our older truck too. The new truck came down and finished everything up, but which was our old truck here, was the new truck, which is way too big for this town, that I can't even get it down Monroe, so I turned it over to the Prince William District, and we're supposed to be buying a much smaller unit next year. So early 27, we'll be looking at purchasing one. Roadways were cleaned with water. We sprayed it down, pushed it to the end, vacuumed it up, and then we went back and limed everything. That was all through the entire day of July 4th. That's how I spent my July 4th. It's fun. To the plan in place, I had already talked about it, phase 1. That's going to be the install of a permanent piping for bypass of the station, one electric pump, one diesel pump. It's probably a little better than 50% completed now. We've got all the pipe work in the ground. We've got to do tie-ins and an intake, and that's it. Kind of been stretched thin, so contractors are stretched thin. We're stretched thin. We're getting to it when we can. We're hoping to be done mid-September. Right now, everything's going well, so. We also had some issues with some orders through one of our vendors that we had to take care of. Ended up being on back order for like 2 months, some of the parts, but we got those here now, and we're gonna keep moving on it. So phase 2 is the completion of the pump station rehabilitation. This is gonna be managed by our engineering department. Obviously, the inspectors and myself and George and everybody will be down there to watch everything kind of go down and make sure everything's being done properly, but it will be managed by our engineering department. Pump station engineering design is right around 95% complete right now. We're waiting on some of the environmental studies to wrap up. Once they're done, they'll turn over 100% drawings for us, and then we'll be able to do the RFP. And the RFP itself is being developed right now. I actually had some questions this morning that I had to answer for it, so they're getting it together. What that's going to include is the relining of the wet well, some concrete work at the bottom of the base of the wet well, a new rail system, pump seats, new pumps, new piping, new isolation valves, new check valves, new electrical equipment, a new generator, and a new control system. Once that's all done, should be a pretty well-functioning lift station. It's still going to be the same old mushroom-style building that's sitting out there. We're going to utilize the building that's there. We might try to pretty it up. It needs a roof, needs a few things, but other than that, it's still going to sit the same way it does, and that was why I even mentioned the mural and putting up some type of wall of some sort. But we can discuss that later. I just want the station to run right now.
You can get rid of a lot of that sand that's down there.
Yeah, that was another idea, putting up the concrete wall, because last year we had it was like between 2 and 3 feet of sand that ended up in the lift station. I mean, we couldn't even, the landscapers couldn't even drive the mowers in, and I think we hauled 22 dump trailer loads of sand out of there. And this year it wasn't as bad. We didn't have as much wind, but I mean, it's still,
Just look at the fence line.
yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's all the way up the fence. Yeah, it's crazy. But we're actually I've been working local landscaper on that. We're going to jump on that. We're going to cut down that hill some and try to pretty that up a little bit, because it's just a big berm right now. We're going to try to level it off. But
So how would you characterize the condition of this and what needs to be versus the other pump stations?
the Mason's in the worst shape, hands down. All the other ones run great. I mean, we've done a few things.
Okay.
What's that?
You saying they're okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do fine. They have good controls, good alarms. All the small stations seem to do well, and I know Washington looks pretty rough, which that's 27 budget too. Let's go in and actually revamp that whole station, make it pretty. But I mean, overall, pumping wise, all the stations do really well. We don't have too many problems with them, and we went through and we've Pine Plum, Washington. Washington got all new controls last year. Since then, it's been doing great. Pine and Plum have both mechanically been gone through both years. This year, I think it was new impellers and new check valves, and then, but overall, running condition of both of them.
Bob, Fig and Washington were those are the newest pump stations, weren't they?
Washington?
Yeah, Washington.
Washington's the oldest.
Is it the oldest?
Yeah, there's very little flow.
Yeah, very little, yeah.
But, I mean, they're struggling with a system that shouldn't have been designed the way the system was designed.
It's an interesting design.
No one in their right mind would design a system like this.
It's tons of additions. There's lots of just add-ons.
Single point of failure, 30 feet from the bay, everything flows down there. It should have been designed completely differently. But we have to keep in perspective, until 1973, around, we were pumping unprocessed sewage into the harbor. Okay?
Yep.
So, I understand the oysters were very good. And I was very taken off at that time. So, that's what we inherited.
Yep.
That's what we got.
Same here.
And the
That's what we
last
inherited.
major work that was done on that pump station was done in 2009.
11.
2011.
11 was
11,
as-built, yeah. Yep,
The line was going.
it's all good.
About 2011, it was completely relined. I think 1 or 2 new pumps, the rails were rebuilt,
Yep.
the rails were gone. The discharge manifold, I believe, was rebuilt and everything, but there was no work done on controls.
Yep. Yep, those are the original MCCs in there, original controls. All of it actually still works for the most part, but at a safety aspect, it's pretty rough. So we replace it.
As a part of our beachfront design, if we're going to put a restroom at Jefferson,
Mhm.
will the pump station at Washington, I assume it would
Yeah.
run to Washington?
Yep, wraps around.
That would be able to handle that the way
Oh, yeah.
you're working on it now?
Yep. Yeah, so the way Mason's being designed now, since we're going from the 2.4s and the 6, later on, it should be able to handle much more flows anyway. So obviously, we have a bunch of I&I problems. That was kind of the theory behind it. If we can't get a handle on I&I, we need to be able to control it at Mason. So, you know, we're working on I&I now. We're halfway through that study. We're pulling, actually, I think they pulled meters today. I had a call at like noon today. They were pulling meters out. So that means we're going to get all our flow data back from the last 4 months. And that'll tell us a lot. But what's that? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be able to handle a lot more. And the idea is we can handle the I&I now until we get a grasp on that, replacing some mains, finding all the point source, you know, all the sources for the I&I. And then later on down the road, it's also got a little more capacity, I guess. You could say it doesn't really have more capacity, it just pumps, it can pump better. So you can, in theory, offset your capacity. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be able to handle it, so.
You open up to some other questions?
Yeah.
Check well connections. Where do we stand on that?
So they started on electrical a few weeks ago. I can't remember the exact date. I think they're going to be wrapping that up towards the end of September, and I believe they're going to start pulling pipe in September is what I was told. Now, I don't know if that's 100%, that's through our engineering department, but I have a meeting for it once a month, and then obviously I talk to the contractors.
Any idea how long, if you were to start in September, how long,
It should be done by next summer.
like through the summer?
Yep.
And that pipe that's been sitting there for 2 years?
Yeah, for forever.
That's all right.
That's it.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's HDPE. They say it's lasts a lifetime.
Okay?
Yep.
Sitting out in the sun?
Yep.
Okay.
Another item had was communication on weekends. So we had a business owner have water leak up out of his meter on a Saturday. And it was like, who do I call?
Customer
When you
service
go-
line.
When you go into the system, it's like, oh, it's not Monday through Friday.
Yeah, we're good for 24/7. You can call the customer service line anytime, you know, after hours, anytime, 24/7. They'll send somebody out. We have somebody on call all the time.
This is your central dispatcher,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yep.
And you're saying there, because it's very clear that we're only from Monday through
Yeah, the website says
Friday,
Monday
and,
through
yeah,
Friday.
it's very clear on the website.
There
that-
should be a 24/7 call on there too. Should be. If there's
Okay,
not, then I mean, I
I'll
can
go
give
back
it.
and look, but the person didn't know who to call, and just so happens to know somebody associated with the plant from
Yeah.
before, called them, and they came out and dealt with it, but the guy had to go and call a friend that worked at.
Yeah.
the plant.
No, there is a 24/7 number that you can call, and I mean, we have somebody on call every weekend. George is actually the supervisor on call right now, so he's the one that picks up the phone for the dispatchers. So.
Can we put a link to that on our website as well? That, you know, if there's some sort of water problem,
Yeah.
you know, people might
It seems
look
like
at our
that's
website.
been picking up to the towns that call, or calls to the town, because I've been getting a lot of calls from the town recently with people saying they have problems. Like I got one today, and I think Connie had called me and said that there was a sewer backup on Tazewell. So I mean, it's just kind of weird that started.
It
unless
says
they-
on their website, report emergency, and when you click that, it has the 800 number, or you can fill it out, either way.
Yeah, the filling out doesn't help.
No, I know,
It's
but
the
right there it
800
says
number.
the 800
Okay.
number. And it doesn't say anything about Monday through Friday.
Okay,
So,
all right.
It's actually it too.
yeah,
So,
so we're good.
so I had an emergency at my home a few weeks back, and it was 6 in the morning, and I called the 800 number, and there's a a way to get into an emergency person, a live person.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was hoping that you would tell town council about the
The galvanized pipe?
opportunity that you presented
So
to me.
I scour the Cape Charles Sheridan chat all the time for bad talk about us, just so I can laugh.
I felt stalked.
Yeah.
Bless your
Well,
heart, you
I haven't,
you need to
she
get,
commented on there and said that, that she had a galvanized line, and I was like, why hasn't this been reported? And then, so I called her and I was like, hey, look, you know, there's a program right now that we're running through a grant program, and, we can have your line replaced. So we have to use one of our contractors, but, we can do it, and, I'm trying to get pricing on that, but again, we're shorthanded. He's told me he was gonna have it to me today, and he still hasn't got it to me today, so.
Well, I'm just pleased
Yeah.
that there's a program like that for people like me and
For
everybody
sure,
else.
for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is there a way to put something out to tell people, here's how
We
you
put out
check?
we put a publication out like a year ago for this, and then we did our study where we had people go around and actually check meter box. We had a group come in and check all the meter boxes in all of Old Town, because we knew obviously Bay Creek
Yeah.
and stuff, you know, it's all new, so it's not gonna be galvanized. But we went through all of Old Town, checked everything. Problem is, there's been so many repairs over the years. Everything stubbed out of the meter boxes is 90% PVC.
yeah, you don't know what's
So,
beyond that.
yeah, you don't know
right?
what's beyond that. And
Yeah.
if it's beyond that galvanized, we can still replace it. And we just have to know. And I mean, it's all over town though, like that. I mean, a lot of people don't know because it's buried. So until you know, if you have a problem like she did and have to do a repair and you see that it's galvanized, they need to call in and let us know so we can come replace it.
You can call that same 800 number.
Yep. They can call the same 800 number.
All right, I had one other item. Wastewater discharge reuse. That subject has been on 15 years worth of discussion. We've had discussions with Virginia American Water. You said you were studying it a year or so
That's-
ago. Where does that stand?
So that's not something I can really answer or touch on. That's with the engineering department. That's something they would tackle. As operations superintendent, I can't
But
really.
are you reaching a discharge limit? Because you have a certain limit as
No,
to what you can
we've
put
been,
out there.
everything's been golden the past 2 years, so, I mean, as far as nutrients go, we're right on the money, so.
Well, it's the quantity that's going out that you have a certain
So you can
limit.
put out as much as you want, as long as your nutrients and everything stay in line, and right now, we're in line,
Okay, I
so.
thought there was a cap of 250,000
So
a
the
day.
plant capacity, so how much the plant is handling.
Right.
So once you break your capacity in the plant, you have to come up with a design within like a year. And right now, we're on the money every summer, but outside of that, you're not. So
Gotcha.
the average per year really doesn't get you there. Now, there have been discussions about expanding the plant, and I've been in several discussions about that. So, I mean, it is at some point gonna happen,
Okay, so it's still in engineering as
Oh,
a
yeah,
subject
for sure,
for
yeah.
reuse.
for sure,
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
absolutely.
I have a question about, is it a treatment facility in Bay Creek on the way to Aaron Point on the right-hand side?
New quarter?
No, not in
Pump
Newport.
station.
The pump station
Pump
itself?
station,
Yep,
sorry, I used the wrong word.
yep.
What are your plans around that? We've seen pieces of equipment out in the.
So we went through, replaced all the valves in the entire station. All the valves had failed. None of them would close. Check valves weren't working. So we replaced all the check valves, all the gate valves. Went through, bought a new pump, put a new pump in, rebuilt a pump in there. We did, obviously, the lighting in there. The whole station was trashed, and we redid all the lighting in it. And, I mean, we've been going through all the stations trying to bring them back up to speed, and, I mean, there's still a lot to do, but overall, I mean, that place is probably gonna stay about the same as it is, other than maybe some minor stuff, but now, where we're at right now, we're in pretty good shape with it.
It has a pretty bad odor.
Does it really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, the mulch beds. So we had, so, yeah, Fig and New Quarter both have mulch beds. So the exhaust systems for the mulch beds have failed. They're completely collapsed, and we've got to dig up the whole backsides of them. I'm glad you said that, because I forgot about those. But no, we're gonna redo those.
This is in Heron Point.
Yes. Oh, at Heron Point,
Yes.
the one down by the golf course.
Yeah, that one.
The- or by the-
That doesn't have a mulch
No, that does not. That does not have an exhaust vent. And that actually sits on a very small lot, so it would never have one. It would have to have like some type of carbon system. The only thing I could say is I have not received any complaints about it, maybe one. Yeah, well, this is the first time I've gotten a complaint about it. That does have a direct exhaust out of the building.
Careful what you wish for, because I think you will have some complaints, knowing now that
Yeah.
if this is the first you've heard about
Yeah.
it, which is surprising, because it, you would.
The complaints I've gotten down there were lighting issues. I've gotten some complaints about our valves and stuff sitting outside, which I wasn't aware of, and we actually cleaned that up last week. But other than that, I haven't really had anything like that.
I would encourage you to take a quick drive-by, because
Oh, I go down there all the time. I mean, I hadn't been there in a while since the valve project, but
this has been more than just recent.
Okay.
It's definitely been over 2 years, I would say, even 5 years.
yeah.
I would definitely encourage you to go take, you can't miss it, even with your windows.
I don't know.
You're used to it now.
I'm tainted to it. Like I've been around it so much, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, you're the wrong, we're definitely the wrong ones to ask. It doesn't bother us.
It's pretty bad, and I know that there's a home built right next to it.
Getting built
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, I saw it the other day.
Yeah, it's, I think, almost.
Directly behind it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And you can smell it out on the golf course, you can smell it on the street, you can turn the corner, you
That-
can still smell it.
It'll be an interesting one to try to clean that up because that's a carbon system because there's no other way to do it really.
But is there something that can be?
Oh yeah, you can do a carbon system.
You
They,
can fix this?
oh yeah, you could put a carbon exhaust system on it and mitigate the smell.
That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
You'll have some phone calls, I'm sure, or emails, I'm sorry, but I just wanna make sure you know that it's
Yeah.
not just me saying this.
Yeah.
That it is, I will
For sure.
galvanize the troops
Yep.
Yeah,
to
that came up
reach out.
at the meeting last
Yes,
night.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely,
Big group.
Yep.
okay.
So that got brought up in Bay Creek last night.
Oh,
I'd like to be able to get into some of those meetings and sit and listen
Again,
without
that's what you
the
would
shirt
do.
on, so,
Okay. Reach out,
yeah,
that would be great.
for sure.
But you have to wear the shirt.
Keep a low profile.
With
Yeah.
with a collar. With a-
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No, we appreciate you taking all this stuff off our hands.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, this is what we would have faced.
Yeah,
if it happened.
it's a lot, so,
Yes.
but yeah, we're getting there, and hopefully, we don't have the summer we had this summer, so things are getting better.
Thanks for the good work.
Yep, thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion?
Make a motion that we adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.
No, I knew they didn't have that, built for the,
Carmen,
that pit behind it, like I'm
or the
sure.
mulch pit, you
Yeah.
call it?
We had the same problem at the station all over the city, and they came up with a bubble gum scented to do it. So the sewers.
So we're
Public hearing and regular meeting. We get a roll call.
Holloway, present?
Buda present.
Grossman present?
Absolutely present.
Buckles president. We have established a quorum. Can we all take a moment of silence? and pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag All right, we've got a public hearing. So we have two pieces to this. A, we're gonna be doing a conditional use permit application for 2026-02 from the Cape Charles Rosenwald School Restoration Initiative. We reading something, or Bob, I mean, not Bob. Rick.
So you have
Down
a,
there.
yeah, you have an agenda item in there. This was already put through, the planning commission has reviewed it and have recommended for approval to your board now. And so I do see a spokesperson here if you have any questions, but they do recommend that all 6, or the master plan for the signage would be moved forward.
Anybody got any questions or anything? All right. No signed up? All right. All right, B, we got the Eastern Shore Rails Trail Ordinance. Let's sign up for that.
No one has signed up for comments on this one either. This is the one that's to regulate the not motorized vehicles.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
There's any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's done. All right. We have no visitors tonight. Any public comments for the regular meeting, Libby?
Yes. I hear Ed Wells.
Good evening, council, town manager, Libby. I'm here to present to you a proposal that I sent to Rick, and I have a copy of it.
Thank you, Ed.
Like I said, I sent this to Rick a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to present it to the council. The 2 lots behind the Cape Charles Library, lots 641 and 644, located on the southeast corner of Randolph Avenue and Pine Street, currently zoned residential. I've recently found out that they may be actually commercial lots, so that's a question mark. Our proposal is to seek a change in zoning. We're calling it a green space within the Cape Charles Historic District. With hardly any town-owned property left in the Historic District, we are proposing to utilize these 2 lots to create a park-like space with native plantings, benches, pergolas, and walkways, etc., for a peaceful respite in the Historic District. We would like to preserve these lots in a natural green space. Please advise on any possibility of this becoming a reality and the proper procedure to move forward. Something for you to ponder and think about, and maybe we can discuss it at a future time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hold on one second, if I may, sorry.
Yeah.
Ed and I have talked about this, I think this is a really fantastic idea. I also think it would be something that could be helpful to the library as an upper classroom too, that I wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah.
Because I know right now they use the space across the street, that's Canoni property, and,
It's probably Kemp's property.
okay, well, that's what they're using, so I just wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, I know there was something brought up this morning from Paul about the money that this property is worth. And, I'm trying to say that people in the historic district, I think, deserve something to be left as a natural area. I don't want to get into this detail right now, but, we take the full brunt of over 300 STRs in the historic district. We deal with the trash, the people, you name it, you all know about it. And I feel that even the sale of the wastewater plant, we deserve some of that money to be kept here and to be utilized for the town, for the historic residents. But I didn't want to get into any depth. I just wanted you to see this and take a look and see what you have to say. Thank you.
Ed, was there any talk about dog park? Because people have always talked about that as well.
No, I
Did that
hadn't.
come up in your discussion?
No.
So normally that we'll just receive information
Yeah.
and then we will
Yeah.
have a work session to discuss it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
And then Tom Bruno.
Yes.
Good evening, my name's Tom Bruno. My wife and I live in Bay Creek.
Could I go back to
An
the,
address?
yeah, 110 Saratoga? Could I go back to the rail trail that you just approved? Does that, the ordinance that was published, meaning that you're allowed Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes?
But it was just a public hearing.
We haven't approved it yet. It's
It
Oh,
was a public hearing.
a public hearing, so if you, we already
as long as you have the Class 1 and Class 2 included, I'm in favor of it. I just want to make sure
It is.
that they were included, okay.
It states it in the.
I read that, and I, you know, then, but you mentioned non-motorized, I mean, you know, motorized, and so that's why
Class three with it.
right. Okay, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for the rail trail, and basically for safety to get access to the rail trail. I live in Bay Creek, and as you know, the rail trail is a multi-million-dollar concept, but the only way from Bay Creek to get to the rail trail is on Cassette Parkway, which is 35 miles per hour, and is a windy road, and the access point would be Stone Road. I had contacted the town manager's office to see if there was going to be a bike lane to get from Bay Creek, the exit, you know, the exit there, down to Stone Road, entrance to the rail trail. And he said, no, there had been no plans for it, but bring it up at a council meeting or contact VDOT. So I'm here at the council meeting. In the meantime, I had contacted VDOT, and they said that they couldn't do that there was no, accurately, there was no bike lane to get to the rail trail, and that you couldn't put one on Cassette because it's too narrow. Her suggestion was drive on the shoulder. And I said, well, can't you put the shoulder, a bike lane? And she says, no, you can't convert a shoulder to a bike lane. I said, well, at a minimum, can you at least put signs? So she said, yeah, we can put signs up, but there's another concept that they have in Norfolk. They have shared use lanes, meaning they paint the lane itself with a bike and an arrow, saying there's going to be bikes on this roadway. And they paint it actually on the road, and in fact, Norfolk has 30 miles of those painted onto their roads. And they got some kind of award for it because, you know, the bicycle safety. To me, it's a safety issue. In order to get to and from the rail trail on a 35-mile-an-hour road where it's all windy, there's got to be a little bit more presence and notice. And so you may want to wait and see what happens and how much traffic there is going down to the rail trail, but, you know, all you need is a couple people to do it, and you know, it's a problem that is going to exist. That's number one. But number two, and this is what cropped up last week, and I didn't realize it until I was coming home, and I'd seen something actually on Facebook that there was this Facebook Bay Creek app, and some woman said she was coming and took the left onto Cassette from Stone Road. She said she almost hit somebody flying down the rail trail, even though the rail trail wasn't open yet. And then I realized, you know, and true, there's no stop sign for either going onto Cassette Road or for the rail trail. And I think everybody here knows that, like 14-year-olds, they're not going to be looking for anything. They're just going to be flying down the rail trail because it's straight. So it's something that has to be addressed by somebody. I don't know if it's you or VDOT, but before something catastrophic happens, whether it's a stop sign, because it's only when you make the left. First of all, when people are going to make the left coming from Route 13, they're going to be concentrating on oncoming traffic. And then when they take the left, they're at the rail trail. It's like one car length, and then you're at the rail trail. It's kind of like so abrupt that you don't have time to look to the left and look to the right unless you're going to stop at the rail trail. And nobody is going to do that unless there's a stop sign there. I don't know if you can put a stop sign there. No one on the rail trail is going to stop unless you put a stop sign there. So it's not my problem to solve your problem, but just to let you know that that really is something that should be addressed.
This was also prior to the signs going up. There were no cautionary signs up.
There are no cautionary signs.
There are not.
No, there are no. It's not at that intersection.
Yeah, go look.
I did on the way here.
They just put them up.
They did
There's
it today.
a stop sign.
No, not stop.
They're not stop
Not
signs.
stop sign, cautionary signs.
No, they put. You mean the signs with right at the trail?
Yeah.
They're too. All right. Well, those signs. By the time you see them, you're there. It should be before the trail. They should put them at least on Stone Road to let you know you're going into a trail. I mean, they're right at the trail. And how's a person who just made the left-hand turn, who's been concentrating on opposing traffic, which is going like at least 45 miles an hour, they're not going to come and all of a sudden say, oh, rail trail, what do I do now? I'm already halfway now across the rail trail before I'm going to,
to look back and forth. It's got to be better signage than those two signs there. That's what I would submit to you.
The signs are more for the trail, not for the traffic turning in. Putting a trail coming out of Bay Creek that goes down South Park right over to Old Cape Charles, which is 25 mile an hour. And then you can hit that head of the rail trail that direction too.
Well, I want to go to the Food Lion. I mean,
All right, this is supposed to be for receiving information.
I'm just.
Right, I know,
I
know that they're going to put a golf, they're putting some kind of golf cart on Cassette, yeah.
No, it's off Cassette.
Yeah, but that goes in the wrong direction. The trail goes the other way. So, all right, but, yes, I see that, but I think most people from Bay Creek, if they want to use their bikes, whatever, they're going to be going down to Stone Road. They're not going to go backwards in order to go forwards, because it dead ends there. If they want to go into town, yes, they would go that direction, but if they want to actually use the trail, they're going to go the other direction, Stone Road.
It's the beginning of the trail.
Yeah.
So. All
right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
No one else has signed up.
All right. Would you like to take it over? Or you want me to-
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. Can I get a motion for the consent?
Yeah,
agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda by pulling out also the financial report. I want to talk separately on that. So this is for the format and for meeting minutes. For approval, motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Unfinished business.
All right, now I want to talk financial report now. Okay, so in the financial report, I just want to call out a couple things. First page, we have treasury report and where the money is. That's good. The second page, we ultimately, I talked to Rick in the finance department, and we put a note down at the bottom, because what is being conveyed in this particular sheet is not accurate. And why I say that is the allocations that we have applied within our budgets have not taken place. So when you look at what our expenditures for instance, the general fund of $4 million, well, that's because we haven't moved any of the projected monies over into capital, as an example. And if you go to capital then, our revenue is $1.5 million, which is not correct, and it's showing a negative because we haven't allocated monies over. So for our protection, the note was added to say there's certain limitations on what is being presented here. And what I am going to ask is that we sit down and revamp this particular report in order to address those particular concerns and really say, what does this do for us? What are we looking for on this one sheet, and what is it doing for us or not? So that was one of the issues I have on that sheet. The next sheet with the capital plans, last month, we had moved some monies to capture some overruns in the library repair area. We moved $27,000 internally, but it was noted that was done. Well, we have now another $24,000, so we should have an internal move of monies in order to cover that from one of the other capital projects. That should occur in order to close this particular month out. All right, so I've got a problem with that particular one. And the last one with regards to the specified sources, I like this. It gives us good information on a monthly basis relative to some of our major hitters. You know, how are we doing with the budget relative to meals, pot? You can see our dockage is at 145%, excellent. We're hitting the mark as of June 30th. Now, allocation is still coming in July and August, but as of the end of June, what they collected is at 103% for meals and 96%, which says we're really on target with our budget. Good exercise a year ago to establish budgets, and we've met those targets. So there's kudos going to the finance department in order to help construct this as we go. But as you look down we're really on the mark or above on our revenues on some of these bigger streams. Even the real estate, what we had budgeted, we're at 102%. And we billed more than we even budgeted, so some of the revenue that we have yet to collect will spill over into our next year's budget of previous year's revenue. But this is a good depiction of where we are on our major topic areas to get a sense of, are we on line with revenues versus expenditures? I just wanted to offer thanks to the finance department on that. So with that, I'd offer a motion to approve the June 30th with the understanding that the capital plan needs to have a movement of monies for that one project that's overrun in the library area.
Paul, are you also suggesting that we change the format of that?
Correct. I'll approve it the way it is, with the caveat, with the note I just brought to your attention, that it's not.
But format into the future that we always
Yeah,
find
and
a
I'll
better
just
way
ask
to.
Rick, to set up a committee or whatever to sit down. Marion's already looking what should we do. I've looked at it, so we can get together to make that more useful for us and more accurate. Okay. So that was a motion. So
All right, we got a second, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now on to, new business. Conditional use permit application for the Cape Charles Rosenball School Restoration Initiative.
So, like I said, you looked at it, it kind of went to the planning commission. They have also reviewed it and looked at it, and they have made a decision, a recommendation for approval to come back here. And so, if you have questions, we do have, what is your name?
Beth.
Beth Walker is here, so that she can answer any more questions you may have.
Is this gonna be set up as it's gonna be set up as like a trail kind of scenario?
Yeah, we ended up having a nice lawn.
Hey Beth, can we ask you to come up, thank you.
We ended up having a nice lawn in the back, and we think it'll be a good outdoor event space, so we were gonna border that space with the signs.
So it'll be spread out all over, that's good. Anybody else have anything?
I'll make a motion
Thank you.
that we approve CUP 2026-02 as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so, should we do this now?
This one doesn't have a resolution.
All right,
It's the next one.
all right, let's see. Yeah, okay. All right, Eastern Shore Rail Trail Ordinance.
So we were asked to be part of this, and so there was an ordinance created from the county, and since the rails trail goes all the way into Cape Charles, it seems to be very appropriate that we would take their ordinance and tweak it a little bit so that it would apply to us as well, and that's what you have here, is that we would, it's a shared agreement that we would also be adopting the same ordinance and rules for the trail.
I have a concern about some language on this. So if you look at our ordinance, the last whereas, we say, the town council wishes to allow the use of the trail by class 1 and class 2 power bicycles, motorized vehicles used for emergency personnel, and motorized vehicles used by an individual with mobility disabilities. But in chapter 28, traffic and vehicles, which is also attached, the language used instead is power-driven mobility devices by or for disabled individuals. And I think that that language needs to sink, because I read vehicles, motorized vehicles, and immediately
So you're looking to use the words in the ordinance?
No, I'm
Which
I'm
one?
looking to use the words in chapter 28, section.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
it's in
saying,
the-
in
it's in the ordinance.
section
Yes, I'm looking
28C.
to take those,
Right,
yes,
okay.
and C, to take that specific phrase there and use that in the ordinance in place of the phrase motorized vehicles used by an individual with mobility disabilities. To just pick the verbiage from 28 and input that, and so to, replace that with.
C5.
So it'd be
Yeah.
Copy
28,
and
it would be
paste.
28-B or 28-8-B-2-C, and that verbiage from C.
Yes.
No, no, it's 28-8-C.
Oh,
B2C?
No, it's not under B, it's under C.
okay, I got it.
Rules for
Right, that's what-
ESDR use, it's almost the last line, full line in that
The
subsection C.
C.
And it says, it's
Sorry.
really, I think it's 6, but it says power
Yeah, 6.
driven mobility devices by or for disabled individuals.
Yeah.
C6, got it.
So I have a question in 2.
Well,
Two-
let me just, because 6 talks about ages 14 and younger shall wear helmets. Is there a 7 that's missing that deals with other power-driven mobility devices?
That language is taken
Yeah,
straight from
I
the
was
state
saying, I'm
law.
wondering if they had messed up at the county level.
From the state.
Okay, so you know what it is, I
Right.
apologize, it is under 28-8, 2B,
B.
2,
Mhm.
and,
C.
that
2B, 2C.
28-8, 2B,
2.
2,
Empowered driven. yeah.
B. Power-driven mobility
There you
devices
go.
by or for disabled individuals.
There you go.
So I have a question about that, though.
Okay,
So let's say you have a golf cart driven by a person who is disabled. Does that qualify for I can take my golf cart on there? Because it is a mobility device for a handicapped person.
I don't think that's what,
I don't
I
think-
envision you're talking about motorized wheelchairs.
Scooters.
Yes.
Right. Or other power-driven mobility device for,
Yeah, the golf carts are not set up for that.
I
They're,
know of one that
I know
is.
one that is too.
ooh.
Grants.
Yeah,
Grants absolutely is set up for it.
yeah. That's my question.
That's not his only mode of.
It's not, but it is one of his mobile devices.
But it is a golf cart.
It is a
Right.
golf cart,
So
100%.
golf
It's a
carts
golf
are
cart
off
that
the
pulls
table.
him around on his mobile device.
Well, he rides the
No, he rides
passenger,
it.
yes.
You know he rides
Yes,
it
you are
on
correct.
his mobile device.
He is not driving it, you
He's
are
not
correct.
driving.
I mean, I think
that's
we're
his
splitting
mobile
hairs,
device
but
pulling him around
I think that
in
we
his
need to.
mobility device.
I would
But the
say
bolos are
golf
going up at
carts
some
are
point, correct?
completely
Right.
off
Right.
the table.
They are not.
I have questions about that too. We've got to, but let's put a pin in that because I want to talk about that.
I was told specifically that they were putting them up.
I was told they were not.
What, I'm
The
sorry.
bolos,
Oh,
Pardon?
The bollards.
the bollards,
I
It's an-
still don't know what that means.
the ones, the big poles that go in the middle so that only certain,
No,
like
no.
you can't get any golf carts on there.
no,
Right,
they're not putting those up, they just drive around. What's the purpose of putting them up there?
Well, it
Let's
was,
not,
it was
let's not
considered
go
a
into that
liability.
discussion when we're.
Yeah,
this
it's
one was
considered
In the
finished.
middle of a motion.
okay, so do I need to move that we make this change of date? I move that we,
Well, I
We
would
have to have a
suggest
motion.
adopt the
Yes,
resolution
first.
with the changing,
okay.
right?
And that's gonna go through the other discussions, when you put it there, so you gonna do it, Paul?
Well, if you wanted to,
I don't know.
okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2026-0819 with a change to the last whereas regarding motorized vehicles having to agree with the actual written statement in the ordinance. Okay, that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? I move for the adoption of ordinance 2026-0819, adding new section 28-8 to the Cape Charles Town Code to designate the Eastern Shore Rail Trail as a public non-motorized transportation facility and recreational shared use path, and to prohibit the use of the Eastern Shore Rail Trail by motorized vehicles unless expressly permitted, to establish other rules governing the use of the Eastern Shore Rail Trail, and to provide penalties for violation and notice to forego reading of the ordinance. Thanks. Can we get a roll call vote? Ashworth?
Yes.
Buda?
Yes.
Grossman?
Yes?
Holloway?
Yes.
Me, yes. Buckles? And Newman's not here. So it passes.
So before we move on to other subjects, since it's about the rail trail, I have a couple of questions. Is this an appropriate time?
It's not on the agenda.
I realize that, but our rail trail's opening tomorrow.
Yes, it is at 10 a.m.
Yes.
We have the groundbreaking, or ceremony.
The points of clarification. Insurance, can you talk to us about who is responsible? Is there a co-agreement with the county and coverage, and the rail trail have insurance? I feel like we discussed this way back when, but I just don't remember the answer.
I'll look it up, but
Okay.
I'm certain it's under the Rail Trails organization is taking on that.
That's what I thought. I just think it
But I
would be
will
good
look it
to have that clarified for the minutes. And then, if this isn't the appropriate place to talk about signage and bollards, if that's what they're called. I'm very concerned, the gentleman that brought up the concern I've had as I've driven down in past, I'm sure everybody has. My concern more is that the people on the trail are not given a stop sign at the crossovers on either side. And to me, that would be of help. I mean, we've lived with behind my house on the alley there with the park, and I've talked about it since I've been on council. Kids come flying down that sidewalk going to the park, and they're like right there. Well, people come flying down our alley, and there's no stop sign. And I see it almost happen all the time. And that's very little use compared to what this is gonna be. So I have a
So
real
should
big
the
concern.
stop signs be on the trail?
Yes.
Okay.
On both directions. So
On
like if
both
you're
directions,
crossing
right.
over Stone Road, Casat, from both directions, there needs to be a stop.
Also
Stop
up,
sign painted on the.
Yes,
On the
as
trail.
well as at the storage area,
right, anywhere where it crosses over.
where there's crossovers. I think that's at least a help kind of in the right direction as far as the right of way, you know, and especially as people are learning the whole process.
I will talk to Ron Wolf. And as far as bollards, what I was told is that they considered it a liability for a bicyclist to hit them, and they ruled it out.
Yeah, we had talked day one, that was John
Yeah.
Hosey's big issue with bollards and golf carts, and that was the explanation given, although they have bollards on the 5-mile stretch
Yes,
south of us.
That's correct.
they do.
And stop signs. They do have stop signs.
They sure
Yeah.
do.
And we have them in the park, obviously.
They have
So
them-
is
if
it-
they have them on a section that doesn't have golf carts, it would stand to reason they would absolutely want to have them in an area of town that has golf carts.
Yeah, I know. So is it your view that you would encourage me to go back and ask them to reconsider putting bollards in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even if they only put it at the trailhead, because that's the most likely place. Supposedly, you can't drive a golf cart to get on at Casat Parkway. So the golf cart would have to get on at the trailhead. Just put
Well,
one there.
In theory,
But those,
Yeah.
if you have a low speed.
low speed one, you can get on at the,
Yeah, but I don't
Cape
know
Charles
that, I
Road.
mean, they'll just drive down the road. Why
Yeah.
do the trail?
true.
Someone posted a video of a car driving on.
That was the inspector.
Yeah,
Okay.
figured, yes, but, I mean, a car can get on it.
It was. I know.
You know, Public Works is exempt from it too.
Yeah,
for a fair amount.
yeah.
I know, but I've already asked Rick for them to encourage them not to set an example by riding on it. they can ride right beside it. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
And I hate to-
we can talk about it, however, their Rails to Trails staff, it's built into the
Oh,
ordinance
sure,
for them to bring
sure.
vehicles in, and it's only
Oh, of
appropriate for
course.
our staff if we have to do maintenance and stuff.
Right.
Any
I just
kind of
think if they're just doing regular
cutting
mowing,
grass, yeah,
they don't need to be riding on the rail trail. They can ride beside it. I mean,
Yeah.
If they're doing something that's of urgency for the trail, different. Is that a good example? Okay.
All right.
Thank you for,
On to C now, C is a professional review fee policy. Paul, you want to say something?
No, just introduce it and.
sure. So I'll introduce it. Where did this idea come from? On our fee schedule, it mentions, that there could be additional fees if we need that. We just don't have a policy to tie to that. And so, so it could easily be challenged without any kind of, legal. We should have some kind of legal policy in play. And so I put some work together and crafted this in order to start the ball rolling of, it would be good for us, especially when there's challenging projects even at hand right now that it's over our abilities to do it. So we're having to send out for plan reviews. Some of these plan reviews should be paying for these plan reviews and not the taxpayer money paying for them. So that's where this came from. It's like, how do we create something that's a better transparent system so that we understand when we do a department, what is understood that we're going to provide, and then there's additional things that's above what we can do. We should not be paying
Sure.
for that.
Well,
So-
I'd argue with that, and that's one of the arguments I'll present, okay?
Sure.
So I looked at the policy, and I think it's premature to try to approve anything tonight. And what I would suggest is we capture comments from each of us to Rick and have this discussion at the work session. So things that I'm looking at on a broader, how does this interface with our procurement policy if we're going out? How does it interface with the budget process? We have legal reviews under zoning, okay? And, okay, we've set aside with the understanding certain cases we're gonna have to ask.
Right.
This is now asking for each department to have put in that kind of budget. And therefore, as we collect fees, we'll have to expense it against that particular department. The other issue is the fees that we are talking about here in the staff report has to be ultimately introduced into our fee schedule that gets reviewed here and approved, all right? Accountability on this whole program. By capturing the complex applications, that's one thing in my mind, I don't have the technical expertise for Project X or some element of Project X, and I got to go and ask whether it's legal or environmental or something strange. That's one thing. What I don't agree yet, without further discussion, is saying, well, if I don't have enough resources, I'm going to send it out. Well, all of a sudden, I've got a department head sitting there saying, yeah, I'm kind of busy, let's send that one out. Let's send it, as opposed to taking chunks of work that we know are coming through the Bay Creek PUD, Acmax PUD, that's going to be eventually, that may overwhelm the staff at a given time, but that's a chunk of work that we should budget for in our budget and respond accordingly with fees from the applicant. So I have things here in this policy that, in concept, I like it, but there's too many questions for me to say, yeah, I can go with this tonight. And again, I'd offer a work session to really talk through the particulars here, and we have to come to grips on, do we extend it because of staff resources? That one I need to have us talk through much further.
I think it's definitely worthy of a work session
Right.
to discuss further.
So again, I'll leave this with, if you've got comments, particular comments, talk or provide them to Rick, so we can start getting a sense from each of you what is your issues with, and then he can collective and be able to come into a work session with a starting point there on, okay, I understand what your questions are, let me try to address or amend this to strengthen it. So that's what I'd offer up for this particular item. Move to a work
It's
session.
tabled this evening.
Yeah, so we'll table it to a work session, and then we'll talk through it and then bring it back. Great.
All right, reappointment of Building Code Board of Appeals member.
Is that you, Libby?
Yes. We have the Building Code Board of Appeals. It has 5 positions on it. We actually have 3 people on the board, 2 vacant positions, and one of the individuals, Matthew Brown, his term is expiring on September the 10th, and he's expressed interest to continue on the board.
So he's not one of the vacancies?
No, he's one of the 3 members on it, and he's interested in continuing.
And is 3 a quorum right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if he
Thank
isn't, he
goodness.
has to stay.
Yeah, really. So I'll make a motion that we reappoint Matt Brown to the Building Code Board of Appeals.
Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, town manager comments.
All right, I just got a few things just to keep you updated on. So this week we had a steering committee number 4 for the Rails to Trails Master Plan, and it was kind of a combination.
Not rails to trails.
Sorry, steering committee to the Rail Yard Harbor Master Plan. All this rail yard stuff. And it was kind of a combination meeting where we got updates on the final concept plans and also bringing in Jim Clark's conceptual ideas, what's been submitted, and they were fantastic.
So there has been some medals.
It has been submitted, and it's really neat, to be honest. It's like taking this kind of stuff that we've been talking about, of seeing, what this can become, and watching how this has been developed. What are appropriate things, and basically saying, hey, tell us what you think that would be great in a harbor commercial area, a mixed-use area, and it was fantastic.
Can you get a copy of that?
I don't have the concepts because this was just from our steering committee meeting.
So that is online, that you
Yeah.
can go on the
Concept.
Yeah, so, but anyways, I think it was neat. We had an opportunity to kind of refine, look at what they've submitted to us. It's a little more dense than what we were anticipating, but it's still conceptual. Where we're heading to, just to kind of keep you a understanding of the timeline, is the final, or the steering committee number 5 is supposed to be in September 17th. So that's another steering committee meeting. And then there'll be a community event. That'll be the 3rd community event, and that'll be October 10th. And then they'll start finalizing this to get ready of what's the plan going to be. And so I can send you this PowerPoint so that you all will have it, understanding what's going on. But it's just exciting. I know that I'm still working with some of the steering committee members who were there. In fact, some of the people here were actually there. And I don't know if they have any comments on it. Ian said many things. Ed said some things, but you have a couple comments that you'd like to make?
I think I can't think of the word, people who are submitting new stuff, it's just gonna be stuff in every direction. You're not even gonna imagine half of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be what we have submitted with
Yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
it's gonna be some wild stuff.
Yeah, Ian?
I think the creativity coming from the design competition was great. I think what was outstanding was a number of them tied into economic development, and their designs were in support of things as a university center there for marine coastal research or other kind of concepts. One of them had them modifying the actual harbor such that you could have a better way in and out, or not in and out, a better way to go ahead and support some harbor businesses right there. So there were some real creative thoughts, and I think that it will be really a good idea for all of us to ponder those as we think, future comprehensive plans and other things along those lines in terms of,
And even an amphitheater at the hump was a crazy, neat incredible idea. You know, how do we preserve that, but it becomes a park-like area where you can have a natural gathering. So I think it was great.
Rick, I think also, one of the things we discussed was the timing on everything. I have concerns, and I think some others did too, that the design competition and the final plan coming to us from the consultants are too close together. And it would be difficult to incorporate. I think we need to see more of those ideas that we just never thought of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the consultant stuff is traditional.
Yeah.
And there may be some things we want to look at otherwise. So you'll be blown away when you see the stuff
Yeah.
from the design competitions.
Yeah.
The steering committee, are you getting good representation of the members? No.
No, not really. No.
Kind of closed mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, I hear it, but it's not to the public yet, and that's where we're trying to engage, get the engagement into it. But that's just,
I have a question though, is the plan to do the next public engagement on the 10th because it's the fall festival?
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah,
so similar to like the Love Run?
yeah,
Yep.
Okay, great.
exactly. Capture the most amount of people at one
Great.
time. Just so, we have just, Jody put together a report to give you about personnel and training. Our beach attendant program is still going on, and we have 2 remaining beach attendants who will be working at the beach through Labor Day. Elix Stevens, the harbor maintenance assistant, has put in his resignation. His last day is August 28th, and we are planning to post for that position as soon as that is. The municipal project manager position, which is what we renamed Bob's position. So we tailored it towards municipal projects instead of capital projects manager. That position has been filled.
It has.
I know, it's exciting. We are pleased to announce that Debbie Caton, who has been the Director of Administration for the town of Onancock since 2022, has accepted the offer. She has wore many hats for Onancock. Her experience working with capital projects and infrastructure has really stood out from all the candidates. She also has worked for the town in finance from 2020 through 2022, so she is one of our former employees. And prior to that, she was a project manager for a construction firm. So she
When did
has
she work with us before?
2020 through 22. Yep. And she will start mid-September. So we're pleased to announce that.
How about that?
Hey, Bob, what are you doing?
Bob has decided he is going to stay on and help do some training
Great.
and make sure there's a smooth transition. A smooth, what is it, a year transition? So,
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Shorter runway than that.
it's going to be tough not to have Bob beside me though.
Yeah.
Chief Pruitt participated in a roundtable event in Norfolk with the FBI Director, Cash Patel. He was the only chief from Northampton County that attended. So that we represent pretty well.
Billy was there as well.
Tracy Alden attended a lecture hosted by the Virginia Association of Zoning Officials on updating comprehensive plan as part of the continuing education. And staff has completed the online university classes for de-escalation and cybersecurity phishing class. So that is our new hires, personnel matters, and training. So I wanted to give you just a quick update on short-term rentals. As of August, we have 321 short-term rental applications have been turned in. 20 with the status that is current, so 20 that we're working on. And we received 8 applications have withdrawn. In the last day or so, we received 4 more additional applications. I did recently deny 1 application, and that's the first one I've denied. So I sent 5 letters, and so I didn't have any other choice. And
If they get, if they're denied, then what?
there's a 30-day
the
appeal.
Appeal process,
They can
right?
appeal, that will go to the Board of Adjustments. And then they will see our mountain of data and paperwork to have to sift through that. But I didn't have any choice. That's what my responsibility was, is if there's no non-compliance, after
Right.
so many times that we had to do that. But our others are still working very smoothly.
Rick,
And I
before you
think,
move off, one of the subjects I had at the end was to set up another, in a work session arrangement to hear the financial side of our short-term rental program. We kind of heard the GIS piece that you just talked to, but I'd like to hear concerns with the financial, what problems, barriers, what lessons learned, and where we're going.
And also, I believe you told me that even if they become compliant, it's still 1 year that they do not have those.
That's correct. When someone is revoked or denied, they're not allowed to do it this year because they're denied. They cannot, they don't have a license. And then also, the stipulation is next year too, they're ineligible.
What, is there any recourse if they are still doing it?
Well, there's fines we can issue.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of recourse in our code.
And when you say year, is it fiscal year or calendar year?
A year from when they're,
Or
I'd have to look at the code to confirm that.
Okay.
I think it's the short-term year, it's our year over
Yeah.
year. So it'd be the rest of the year that's left here, and then when that one would have expired, an entire another year. Calendar.
so it would get them to January 28th?
So I'm sure you may have been aware, because some of you contact me or our staff to let us know, but we do have a different trash provider. It went from Davis to Dominion? Republic. And we've had some issues. So 4 weeks in a row, we've had some issues, and we've contacted them, I want to say daily. And we are in the process of writing up a letter of, you know, we're gonna create a system where we're gonna have a backup and use this person as a backup and back charge them, and probably look for an RFP and starting the process over again.
right,
So it's
because
been,
that just transferred with the sale of
Yeah,
Davis
that's
to
correct.
them.
yeah. But it has not been,
But it's essentially the Davis operation just moving under a new name?
Yeah, so,
kind
And
of,
management.
And
yeah,
management.
it's different management, but they've also lost some staff.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Republic has 40,000 employees,
yeah.
so this is not a minor player in solid waste.
But their operational is run different.
All right.
And so there's some things that some of the staff are not able to do that they were before, and so they've lost some staff. And so it's like a different company working with right now. So, even though it is some of the same players.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that
We're right in
we're
the
gonna,
middle of the busiest time
Right.
of trash.
yeah, and it's not fair to put it on our public works to have to go back and
No.
empty trash
No.
cans.
No, no,
It's-
no.
They're already
Yeah.
up to their eyeballs.
And there are other companies now that have sent to me that
Yes.
want to put in the RFP, so it's not going to just be one and done like it was with Davis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're looking to take the contract.
Yeah, that's good. I will get out the manager's report tomorrow, but I know you probably want some updates on some of the projects, so I figured I'd give you updates.
You start with 7 Strawberry.
Certainly.
That's right there.
7 Strawberry, they are gonna be starting the framing next week. And so that's the week of the 24th, which was Monday's the 24th. So that week is when they're gonna be framing up the interior. So I think it's the same situation that you heard from Matt. It's contractors, you know, they're overextended, and the Camino's contractors are also doing the library building, and so they're constrained as well, and so they're trying to do that. But rest assured, we have a backup plan, and our backup plan is working. And the backup plan was to have that trailer, and it is a nice new trailer, and it's doing what we need it to do. So we have a system that's working, I would say, flawlessly right now. And we are anticipating mid-November for it to be finished. And so that's, I can only give you what I've been told. Mason Avenue electrical upgrades. ANEC has completed the installation of permanent power for the new streetlights and power pedestals. This service also transfers the power supply from the beach restrooms and fishing pier from Mason Avenue Pump Station, now owned by VAW. Developing the scope of work for the next phase of the upgrade project from Pine to Peach. So that's the next. New municipal building. So you are aware we're going to be doing probably a groundbreaking the first week of September is what we're shooting for. We'll have their engineers, they'll put up a big sign. They're going to clear some things before we do that. And then we'll have, golden shovels and some light refreshments. But it's a big deal. The last time this has happened was in 1930s, I think 1933. So we are, all the pre-construction permitting is almost complete. VDOT has approved both the Fig and Randolph entrances, so we are
good.
waiting on that.
That's good.
So that was finally done. But it's moving on pace, so expect an email so that you'll know which date that we picked. It's really kind of getting the engineers and the contractors all together, and then we'll let you know. Workforce housing, the draft development agreement continues to be reviewed, and so that is between attorneys and us talking through it. Harbor capital projects, Bob has prepared the invitation for bids for the final phase of the boardwalk reconstruction, and those bids are due September 21st. And sidewalk infill, working with VDOT on a few refinements of the scope of work for the next phase, and that's going to be the north side of Jefferson Avenue, several segments on the east side of Nectarine, and one segment on the east side of Harbor Avenue. And those bids will also be due by the 31st of August, so it's pretty soon. And then just a miscellaneous, provided bid results to the clerk for 10 separate FOIA requests. So
We're up to 14 now.
14 FOIA requests.
Is this from different people or
Same now.
same
Yeah.
person?
And that takes time, takes away our precious time. So also, we've received a request for a handicap parking sign to go in front of the Cape Charles Coffee House. So you might have been heard or been talking about it. We're reviewing that right now to see how we would just look at that. We'll probably talk to VDOT and so forth, but that one is a little different than our others because it's not the perfect location to put one.
Isn't
And
there
it-
one, two spots?
Yeah, there's already one that's nearby, and so we'll have to review that, but we're internally reviewing it first, and then we'll get VDOT's attention, but we are aware of it. This is the sign that I would like to put up on stone where it says, no golf carts past this point, is something like this. I talked to VDOT, they wanted it yellow, so it's more of their type of signs, but it's not gonna go in there for the public to see. I feel like Dan away. But it's not gonna be in the VDOT right of way, because if not, they would not approve it, because it's not one of their signs that's standardized. It's most likely gonna be in the brewery, the grass lot that's behind the small little blue building. And it's gonna be 20 feet from the line of the road back. As long as I can get 20 feet, then that's the VDOT right of way, that 20 feet.
What's the
Anything
size
within-
of it?
24 inches.
Can we make it larger?
No, that's the largest we can do, according to our code.
Oh,
20
gotta
feet
follow
from the center line or 20?
24, I don't know, Bob, do you have 24 inch? I don't know.
square?
Well,
Is
you
it
have
square?
to custom made, figure than that, but I don't know what the code says.
Okay.
But
You know what
when
the
you
code
said the
says.
20 feet, is that from the center line or is that from
4 square
the?
feet.
4 square feet.
4
2 by
square
2.
feet is the total sign.
Two by two.
It'll be a large, it'll be a big sign.
It'll
with
be yellow.
8 feet of
Reflective
post.
yellow, reflective black.
Yeah, so Andy's working on it. I got a quote, and
Good.
I've also got a verbal approval from the brewery, but I will have a written approval so that we can keep it in our file.
Yep.
So that is working.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. It just took way more time with VDOT.
I know.
And also, the signs at the parking lot were denied because they already have signs that have the golf cart, it says no golf carts there, so that was denied
Where, at the parking lot?
at the Rayfield parking lot. So they already have signage
Oh.
there.
No motorized vehicle.
No, yeah, this
That's
says
all
no
it says.
motorized vehicles. There is another little real estate agent sign that's over there that says no golf carts past this point, but
Somebody put that there.
yeah, somebody put that there,
Yeah.
but VDOT has not approved that.
Right.
We need to start begging for forgiveness.
Yeah, and then the other one, which you
Yeah,
guys had
just like
asked me
Nantucket
about.
did with their Main Street sign.
Yeah.
They put it right in, it's right in the VDOT right of way, and it's still there.
Yeah. And then the other one that you guys had asked me about was putting a sign at Bay Creek entrance on the south end, but on the right side. I brought it up to Bay Creek and they said, let us discuss it because it's their property. And they kind of said, well, I'll mention it to our guys, They don't like a lot of signs and cluttering, but they are planning to put a sign up that says golf cart path this way, so that they would go across the street. So they are planning to do that, but I've asked them, council has requested that we put something so it puts a sign there, and they said that they will discuss it. So we'll just follow the,
Even if it's temporary.
yeah, that's true. And then I have written some zoning determination letters that have taken some time. So, and this is a quick update. Dreams by the Water, you may have heard, that one has been a challenge because it was a non-conforming in every way possible. And so we inherited it, and it's gone through many cycles of reviews and VDOT and everything. But the last part was the sidewalk. And they were trying to, work with VDOT, but VDOT wants to work with us, and then we have to follow our code.
Right.
So in order for VDOT to approve it, we have to sign off on it, which means it's got to fit our town code. So the questions are, is it required to have a sidewalk? And the answer is yes. Our code requires all lots to have a sidewalk. Doesn't matter if it's a cul-de-sac, And then the question is, what about the cul-de-sac beside it? Well, that falls under the PUD for Bay Creek. So it's not technically, it's an overlay that they have allowed that to happen without sidewalks. So that answers that question. Well, how big do the sidewalks have to be? 5 feet width. So it has to be a sidewalk and it has to be 5 feet width.
And they have tight
Yeah.
space there.
So if you walk through that area or seen it, there's a lot of utility lines that are in that area.
Yeah.
So what I came up with a plan, reviewed it with VDOT, they liked it, then I went back to the group and talked to him. So it is a challenge. So 6 of those property owners can have a sidewalk abut the curb and have 5 feet from the curb. That will be approved. When it goes to the cul-de-sac, all of the utilities are going to have to be moved out.
Yeah.
So
Because
that's
they're tight back there.
It's very tight. Some of them are 2 feet from the curb.
Yeah.
So it's just, why is that? Is because when they originally planned it, it worked. But then when they wanted the road to be approved by VDOT, VDOT said, no, this road that you have doesn't fit our standard. So they had to widen it, and then it increased for a fire truck to go around. So it ate into all that land
Right,
that would have been their
because they butt right up
yard.
to the back of.
So it
like that
created
wall.
messes after. So this is our agreement, because you got 3 homes that are already built, and they're waiting on their COs, and the CO is tied directly with sidewalk. So we're in a stalemate. So we've created a way forward, which is put a sidewalk in and move your utilities. And for those homeowners that want to get their CO, they can do one of 2 things: put the sidewalk in, or they can put a bond up that's for the amount of the sidewalk. We'll sign their CO, and then we have the money if they don't do it. And so then that's the get it done. If they don't get it done, we have the bond to be able to do it ourselves. And so that works for all parties. And then we will have the plat redone with a note saying that VDOT will not be held responsible for any maintenance, but they must comply to the town code, which means they're responsible for the maintenance since it's a non-conforming. So we've got a path forward,
Good for you.
and that has
That took
taken
a
up
lot.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
So anyways, just a little more detail than I wanted to give, but some of you are aware and have been more involved, or heard their, so that's all I have.
Well, just following up with the time involved here, where do you stand with regards to the planning
Yes.
Good.
position?
I'm glad you brought that up. So we did have a candidate. That candidate has withdrawn. It was a solid candidate, and because that candidate is no longer available, we met with the Berkeley group today and have decided to extend this to 1 more month, and then we'll reevaluate the situation from there. But it's been a challenge to find qualified candidates. That's where we're
Now,
at.
would Berkeley be extend for their search?
For their services for searching for
For
candidates.
searching?
Yeah.
How about as far as services to help
So yeah,
address some of
they
the
have been working with,
workload?
they have been working with us for planning services. We have submitted multiple projects to them already.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are working with us.
A la carte.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're taking our big projects to them. The other smaller projects we're doing in-house, and we are able to do that. So our staff, it is taking time, but that's what their job is to do, and they're doing fine. And I signed off on 12 to 14 plans yesterday to move those forward. So that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
they're working hard in there.
I have a question. Do you have an update on the lights on the trees that are not
Yes.
working?
I do have that, right here. So those, Main Street has talked to their consultant that's coming in, and they will be coming the first week of October to make sure all those lights work. Now, some of those have been disconnected from our public works because they didn't want to be tripping hazards. And they will, seal with tape and everything as it gets closer. But they're gonna come in and check all the lights to make sure they work, and then we'll just put our cords back up and tape them back down.
And we didn't want to ask them to accelerate that because the business community had actually asked that those lights be on all year. And it's going to start getting dark earlier if we wait another 6 weeks.
I'll ask,
I mean, that was what the business community had said they wanted, was
Yeah.
that the lights be on all year, and they made a pretty solid pitch for that. So I'd like to, at least if they're gonna be on, it looks bad to have 20 out. It would be better to just not have them be on at all than to have 20 of them be out.
well, some of them are out because they're not plugged in. So our staff, our public works have unplugged them because they were just tripping hazards.
So are we ready to plug them back in? And, I mean, now that it's gonna start getting dark earlier in particular, plug them back in and go ahead and do that tape? Or are we, what are we?
So I'll talk to Public Works about it. How soon can they put it on their schedule?
That'd be great.
Yep.
Another item we had talked about at previous meetings was some sort of a, back to the bollard idea, leading into Strawberry Plaza from Mason Avenue. Just something in the middle of that wider, handicapped accessible,
Ramp.
thank you.
I don't think it can be in
Getting
the
the-
middle, it would have to just be to the side, but not,
Because the handicap, then it
It
reduces
impedes
the
the-
handicap accessibility, wouldn't it?
Well, we do the same thing on the other side. There's one already on the side of the parking lot. So we just need to do something similar. That's pretty wide. I mean, you could get through, we can at least look at how we would do that.
Sure.
So we can avoid having golf carts and cars.
Cars.
and,
On,
going through there.
You're talking about putting up something that's on the street side or on the back side, the parking lot side?
street side.
Street side, okay, 'cause
From
it's so
Mason
wide.
to Strawberry
People,
Plaza.
again, are taking their cars.
They certainly are.
Can't make this
Can't
stuff
make
up.
it up. Nope, nope.
As Jimmy
Strawberry
Buffett would
Plaza,
say,
though.
we've
Yeah.
done it.
Yes.
And so, what, can you give me, I was writing another note when you were saying, so can you give me the specific, what you want a sign? Did you want a bollard?
So it's
Something
8
that
feet
would-
right
Something that
now.
would-
Something that'll prevent a car from driving
Okay.
through there.
Okay.
Just to make it wide enough. for
Spikes,
the widest
whatever
wheelchairs.
works.
But,
you know.
but that
cars,
doesn't
no
impede a
golf carts.
wheelchair or a
Right.
scooter.
Concertina wire,
Okay, got it.
Yeah, because that one's 8 feet wide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little automatic flamethrower.
okay.
All right.
Those things that comes out of the ground.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I had real quick, on Town Edge, we met with Bay Creek individuals, Tara's group last night, had about 25, and we walked through for an hour and a half, it was a good hour and a half, walked through Town Edge and what's being proposed, and its impact also on the aquifers. And this morning at Tara's group, she had about a half a dozen, we went through the same exercise, and I'll do it at Emmanuel Church on Saturday at 10 o'clock. Offer that for our congregation, but open it up to the community through the civic group, just
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, got some announcements. August 22nd, 2026, Continental Park is going to be the United States Air Force Full Spectrum. August 29th, 2026, Continental Park will be Chesley Kellogg.
Celeste.
Celeste, sorry. September 2nd, 2026, Town Council Work Session, tentative.
Are we,
Hopefully not.
do we know if we need that meeting?
I'm sure we are. I've got several things, and we also have the beachfront master plan projects to work on, which
Okay.
I've not heard back from him. I've sent him multiple emails.
Okay.
All right.
So it's a go?
Because I need, yeah, because that was one of the dates for the
Yeah.
Main Street.
Yeah, change it
That's
to-
correct.
Oh, I've got one other thing. I'm sorry.
okay, go back.
No takebacks.
No takebacks. I'm trying to coordinate an executive session to talk about the Canoni property. And so, I'm trying to coordinate for next week. So
Oh.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. In 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
We couldn't do it the same day as the one on the second, we do 5
We need to
o'clock
do
and
it
then.
earlier.
Oh.
So I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm trying to get that coordinated. I'm trying to work with some other person.
Clock's ticking.
Thursday's the only day I can do it.
Did you say Thursday's your only good day?
What's the date of Thursday?
So this kind of hinges on the other person of getting that person.
All right, so you gotta line that
Yeah.
person up for
Yeah.
All right, so, all right, September, we're
28th? Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
gonna just finish the announcement.
Go right ahead.
All right, September 5th, 2026, we got Love Fest in concert in Central Park at English Channel. Always a good show. All right, September 7th, 2026, town office is closed for Labor Day. Let's say holiday, it's just Labor Day. All right, September 12th, concert in the park's gonna be Captain Mike and the Shipwrecked.
Jimmy Buffett Tribute Band.
And then, of course, September 16th, 2026, our regular town council meeting.
Looking forward to it.
You got something?
Yeah.
No.
All right, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That was kind of nice.
Yeah. Just sit back. You're like, I kind of like this over here.
So I'm gonna pass over the, whereas therefore, you can read the.
So Rick,
Yeah.
the reason I was asking about that is because, they're trying to do the